Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Magic in the Matrix. I'm your host, Kelsey, and here I am with.
Alexander.
Today, we have a very exciting episode and one of our fan favorites, the monthly Q&A.
Woohoo!
But first, we have a huge update. If you are listening on an audio only platform, you don't know this, but Mr. Fox has a haircut. What's going on with this haircut? You look great. Nice haircut. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so when I went back home to Cleveland, um, my dad's hairstylist, her name is Yulia. She's Russian. And like I walk in there, like, I have this huge mop on my head. I'm just like, yo, girl, you just gotta make me look good. Like I don't want a buzz cut, but I don't want it too long. And she's like, I know exactly what to do. And then she gave me like the kind of like not like a blowout taper, but something similar to it, and then just a little bit longer on the top and shorter on the sides. And I'm just kind of spiking it and having it a little messy on top, and I love it. I look so great, and I
It's
feel
a
great.
vibe. You do look great. Shout out, Yulia. You're a real one, Yulia.
She's real. She's awesome.
All right, we you look great. I'm really impressed. So we've got another story of the day.
Yeah, we do. This
Alexander had a morning, guys. Sending a little bit of love. Let's hear it. What's going on today?
So I was I woke up and I was getting ready to go to soccer. I was going to go play pickup, and I get to my car. I noticed that my car was hit. I got to park it out on the street because our driveway is full, and someone hit the part in between the bumper and like the passenger door on the rear end. And then the tire was also blown out. And I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God. And a part of me wanted to have like all this anxiety and stress and fear like come into me, but I was still feeling so light and just like, okay, this is happening. And then something's like, I got a message intuitively saying, go check your windshield. I was like, okay. So I take 5 steps, I see the windshield, and there is a piece of paper on the windshield. And the guy's like, hey, I am so sorry I hit your car. My name is so and so. I literally live just down the road. I was coming home from work. Please give me a call. We have insurance. We'll get it all taken care of. And I'm like reading this note, and a part of me just wanted to like shed a few tears. And, I'm thinking, wow, there is still good in this world. I trust that there is more good happening in the world than the bad that we're fed. And, I called them, they were super nice. And then they even picked me up, and then we went and got food. And then they actually drove me here so that me and Kelsey could do our podcast.
Talk about shout out. Shout out to that person and that family. Actually unreal. You know what? It's real. It's a just beautiful level of integrity. Thank you so much to that person for affirming to us and everyone listening about humanity. I totally agree with you. Like
Thank you. Thank you, Ethan, and your wife. You guys are absolutely amazing, beautiful souls, and keep being who you are. And I trust that life will continue to get bigger and better for all of you.
guys, the karma coming back to you too. It's gonna
Oh,
be beautiful. I'm
for real.
calling in and supporting the karmic gift coming your way. Seriously.
Hmm.
All
Amen.
right, we're shaking off little craziness this morning. I actually wanted to meet Ethan and his wife. I was like, let me know when they get here. But I was meditating with Ollie, so it's cool. But yeah, okay. So between Yulia and then the crew this morning, we could lock it and load it today. I
Yeah,
love
we are.
everybody. But alas, we've got some great questions to go through. So we'll keep going. First question is a really interesting one. I love it. Is money a bad thing in spirituality?
At first, when I was starting out in this journey, I never thought it was a bad thing. I always thought, like, how can I make it more of a thing? That was like my question with it. And I learned because like I always grew up like not thinking money was bad, like at all. Like I know people use it for bad things, right? But
Mhm.
there's also good things with it. And I would not say that money and spirituality is bad, but it is definitely a tool to help us up level ourselves so that we can enjoy life more, but then also learn how to give back.
Mhm.
It's like using that law of attraction. It's just like what you give out is what you can get back. And Actually, when I was back home, I ended up getting a massage from a friend. Her name's Raven. Shout out to Raven. And she gave me a discount for a massage session, like a holiday season one. And I ended up getting it for $75 for 1 hour. It was Reiki and massage. Beautiful.
Wow. Raven, come to Austin.
She might do it. Actually. And but at the end of it, I ended up just giving her $100, right? And I was just like, oh, she gave me a discount. I'll give her a great tip. It's all good. And literally, like, I think maybe like 4 or 5 hours later, a random woman found my business on Google and she contacted me and she scheduled a session 2 hours later. So then I legit got $155 back. So I, made $55 that day. And then three more people scheduled sessions later that week.
Wow.
And it felt like because I said, you know, I got a service for me, I was able to pay money. So it's a currency. So the current of a sea with your currency is how you're going to see the waves come and go. If you think about it like that.
I I love that. I haven't heard it like that. And the way you said it, I want someone to like drop a beat behind it and then remix it. That the current in the sea. Yeah. Tamar, shout out to Tamar, editor. That could be cool. um, that's wow. This is exactly how I feel about money. Money is energy. And so for some of you that don't do a lot of kind of spiritual meetup type things, like a lot of the sort of payment on some spiritual events is literally the energy exchange instead of the cost of the event, because money is right, like you're just transacting energy between two people for different services or products or whatever. And I've heard some spiritual entrepreneurs or people that worry a lot that trying to charge for their services is like out of integrity. And I just couldn't disagree more with that, because it's your skill set and your gifts and your teachings and your wisdom that you're sharing is worth energy. It's an energy exchange, and you're absolutely in integrity to charge for what you're worth and for the beautiful skills and hard work you've put into honing that craft. So it's been something interesting because I'm kind of like you. I don't view money as evil. Guys, I work in corporate finance. I don't think money is evil, but I think people can use money for evil. And I think in the spiritual world, some people do exploit money, spirituality for money, right? So they're offering services when they're not in integrity, or they haven't done enough kind of inner work to be able to offer that, or they're letting their ego get into their kind of spiritual practice and charging exorbitant amounts, or maybe charging people that they can't help, or asking people to have it be within a power dynamic that the people feel like they need to keep coming back and back and back so that person can make more money, when they really should just be empowered that that person can go heal themselves with some extra support in
Mhm.
this way. So it's a little more nuanced, and like money's fine and anyone in spirituality is fine, charge money. It's like you can exploit money within the context of being a spiritual leader, and that's disappointing to me. That pisses me off. But
Mhm.
in the context of charging for what you're worth, like go after it, kings and queens. Like you deserve it. There's nothing inherently evil about money. I think the future of our currency might future of our
Currency.
currency might evolve a little bit, and that's kind of the astrological lens I'm here. But yeah, I would say not a bad thing in spirituality, but can be exploited just like nearly anything else.
I
Okay,
totally
cool.
agree with you on that, by the way. Like a lot of people do have problems like, oh, I think I'm charging too much for this. And then they kind of charge like too little for it. And then it's like they're not making enough to like sustain themselves,
Correct.
and then you're kind of putting yourself in a bind. And it's just like, well, I'm great at what I do, but like the marketing and, selling myself and
Mhm.
charging, it takes so much to be an entrepreneur in the spiritual world. Like you literally got to be wearing so many different hats and almost at the same time, like,
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, and when people think that there's something wrong with charging more, right? Because you and I have talked about this, like you can isolate a certain customer base that literally needs a free session. And so there's ways, I know Alexander sometimes does, guys, he really does work with people that need a free session if they come to him every once in a while, like maybe not always, but it's happened in the past. But it's just not something that energetically can be sustainable to give all of your energy, time, resources away for free. Then what happens is people burn out and they can't share their gifts, right? Then they have to go get a job. So I think it's a really nuanced conversation, and it kind of makes me sad for people that feel it's almost like it's a martyr energy or a lack of self-worth that they can go out and do that, but it's also like just hyper empathy. And I really respect people that are navigating the nuances of this money because they really care about people and want to help everyone. I love it, but just know that there is no need to, and source consciousness, your higher self doesn't want you to undercut your own quality of life and ability to be well to help someone else. That's not ever the
Mm.
goal. So guys, it's a tricky conversation.
Wow.
I mean, in any circle, but it's something that if you guys need support, comment. We can talk through thoughts because like every situation is unique, but get your coin. If that's what you want, that's what I
Hmm.
want. I like to get my coin. Get
You're worthy of receiving your coin.
it. Say that 3 times fast. Okay. How does sage work? That's the next question, and it's my question. I know
Mhm.
sage, if you sage your home, right? Like people have those smudge sticks and they go around their home and clear it. But I kind of understand on a spiritual level that it clears negative energy and you can open your windows, whatever it is. Alexander will get into that. But I was like, but how does it work? Like, if there's a different way to explain it that's a little bit more scientific or more kind of matrixy. So I have notes. I'm going to read them because I just learned this. Sage releases negative ions, which clears bacteria in the air. So, like physically, the negative ions clear out the bacteria that's like actually physically in the air, along with sort of which I think it's the same thing, sort of the energy that's not associated sort of with your highest good. So that those negative ions and the intention behind it clears physically and metaphysically what's not aligned with their highest good or bacteria ridden or whatever in the air. And then I guess it's because it's like sage has been used for many, many generations. And actually, the
Mm.
Latin word for sage stems from the word heal. So it's like this paradigm of sage being something so obviously clearing in your home has been around for many, many, many generations. It's literally like embedded in our language. So you get this kind of bacteria clearing. And then this is my personal thought, is that collective consciousness around sage actually supports its ability to clear, which is kind of hippy. I mean, very hippy dippy, but like, okay, from an astrological perspective, the new year doesn't start January 1. Like the astrological new year is in Aries season. That's totally different. But a lot of us really do feel that impulse to like start over and start something fresh in early January. And I kind of contend that there's a little bit of the collective consciousness around it's a new year. Let's set these resolutions or goals or do a dry January or whatever it is. Like that collective energy and collective thought around whatever it is, or Valentine's Day is like a romantic day. It's like apparently a made up holiday. It's my favorite holiday, so don't dunk on Valentine's Day, but it's like that collective consciousness over many, 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 many generations of that sage clears your space or your energetic field. I think that all supports the power of sage's higher self and our higher selves and our ancestors. It has this power behind it beyond just like an ion. So yeah, I love sage. It doesn't have to be sage to smudge. So Alexander, maybe you can get into that. But how are some ways that you can actually sage smudge clear your home?
Yeah, actually, I love your explanation with that. That was very spot on, and just
Within
like
these streets
how
in Google, I'm like, I need to know. I realizing I don't have a very clear understanding of how this works. I just believe in it. Yes.
the fact that you believe in it literally will carry you the distance, and how
100%.
sage will help you. Hmm. Oh
Agree.
yeah. So for me, when I use sage, like usually I like to connect with the plant, like kind of stare at it and like just notice what it looks like, the color, the feeling, like the energy that I actually like get from it. So I'm like feeling its essence. And then Usually I'll say like a little prayer with it saying, thank you, Sage, for purifying and clearing my space. Allow it to be clear, allow it to feel light. And I'll just like light a little bit of it, maybe like circle it around. And then once you start to see like the embers happening on the sage, then blow into it. So then the smoke will start to expand and then the embers will get more lit. And then when that happens, you can like twirl it around. You can like kind of dance with it a little bit. Sometimes people will have like a plate or a shell, like maybe like a little like seashell, and like they'll like put the sage in it, and then they'll kind of go around so no ashes will spill all over the place because had that happen many times.
Casual.
And they also have whatchamacallit, just really good properties, and it's very eh, it's really good for your smell as well. So it's not going to like really activate like any allergies. So it's going to be like really good for that. And this smells pretty lackadaisical. It's not going to be like a perfume or like a really like potent essential oil. So you don't have to worry too much about it.
Mhm.
Um and then yeah, and then like once you have that prayer and you're cleansing it, then you can open up a window and then like allow it to go outside and allow Mother Gaia to recycle it, cleanse it, heal it, purify the energy back into love and light. Because Albert Einstein said if energy is neither created nor destroyed, then you have got to learn how to be your own alchemist so that we can truly get rid of anything that's impure or bad or low or anything like that. So we, heaven on earth can really expand and become a reality for everyone.
Beautiful. Yeah, I transmute any energy not aligned with my highest good to love all at all times. So sometimes Alexander's with my dog at the crib, and then I'll come home from this like dense work environment, just like, like, and he might even know that I had like a crazy dense day in theory, but like, I don't know. I do a little bubble of protection before I even go in, such that the bubble of protection is enshrouded with roses, which transmute any and all energy not aligned with the highest good to love. And then I do the same shit on the way home. And it's just like, it should be, you are an alchemist at all times. Yes. Were you going to say something? I think I cut you off.
I was literally about to say, did you mean in theory or intuitively?
Intuitively, yes.
Mm.
We're thinking about this environment, guys. Okay, I have a couple of little comments to add on this sage situation.
Go
First of
for
all,
it.
guys, if you're going to purchase sage, purchase from an ethical source. Just putting it out there. There's a lot of kind of dialogue about sage, which I'm not going to get crazy into, but like it's versus just going to some like mass produced thing that you don't know how it got there. Like if you're going to try to literally cleanse the energy in your home where you sleep and live, um, try to get it from an ethically sourced place. And also, it's just the right thing to do. And then the other comment that I've been really excited to share is I wanted to just understand how sage works. So this question is literally from me and my Googling, but you can sage your home or your space or your energy using tools that aren't sage. So people do this with Palo Santo quite a bit. You could
That's
definitely
right.
do it with like singing bowls. You could definitely do it by singing. Like you don't need fire necessarily, although fire is a cool visual and it really helps. But yeah, you could clear your home with the intention of clearing your home in silence. So I've done that before, like where I'm just like going room to room with the intention, like my intention is that I'm going to hold some present space for clearing this room. Like if I don't feel like, disrupting my dog with some smoke or getting bowls and things out, you can clap. So say like the intention is that each clap, it clears the all energy in this home that is not aligned with the highest good and transmutes it to love. Clap. You can hum. So it's not so serious that you need like these ions, although I'm kind of into the ions right now. So like I'm gonna be messing with some white sage ethically sourced. But yes, you can clear the energy in your home and your spirit with intention. And I'm so glad that you mentioned intention and how like that's kind of all you need because I think sometimes spiritual people like to are just interested like we are in all these tools and all these different things you can buy and these little assistant helper bunny sage bundles and things, but like it's a lot about calling in your higher self or the intention or source consciousness and then asking for a little favor, and that's all you need.
Love it. Perfectly explained.
Thank you. All right. So this next question, it breaks my heart. This is a question that Alexander received from someone in his world when he was back home over the holidays working on energy. So it's a heavy one. Let's go for it though. All right. The
Mhm.
question is, what do I do if nobody loves me?
Man,
It's
oh
hard.
man.
It
Yeah.
makes me first of all, I'm going to let you answer, but I don't think it's possible that nobody loves anyone because of our guides and angels, but you go ahead.
Right. We think in the physical, no one really loves us or
Yeah.
because of all the stuff that's ever happened. And, it can be really hard for people to try to trust people again, you
Mhm.
know? And one of the ways, like when I assisted this woman when she called me, she was crying and bawling her eyes out, saying like nobody loves me, like I don't know how I'm gonna keep going, and like just like all these things. And I was just like, okay, let's just come back to our breath. Okay. And then I guided her through like just a little bit of breath work, like 2 minutes, nothing wild at all. And then at the end of it, as soon as like I like basically ended the breathing part, like she stopped crying. And then like I could feel that her energy was so much more calm. And then like I could hear her voice like clear as day. Like there was no crying, no like she's like, wow, I forgot that like I could use my breath. People always say just breathe. And that, maybe some people are like, and then they take like 3 or 4 breaths and like that's it. It's
In
like
their
that was
chest, right? Like not into their belly, not yeah. Yep.
exactly. And she's like, wow, I actually feel light. And like the pain in my back and like my stomach are gone. Like I haven't felt this way in a long time. And I was just like, yeah, I just guided you, but you did all the work.
Mm-hmm.
You physically did it. And then, like, once you can find that stillness, like that peaceful moment, then it's like, okay, what's the next building block that I can do? And then just take one brick, put some plaster on it, and then just place it. And then, or the next stone, like placing it in the ground, and then just take that next step. And then it's like, okay, maybe I'll go for a little walk. Maybe I'll drink a glass of water. Maybe I'll watch like a little funny show, or maybe I'll journal or meditate, or maybe I want to take an inspired action because I got that epiphany that, oh, maybe I'm supposed to start a nonprofit to help women who are going through really bad relationships, abusive
Mm-hmm.
relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something like that. Maybe someone needed to hear that that's going to listen to this podcast. Um,
God bumps. Yep. Yep.
ooh, God, we're going to talk about that in another episode. Um, so yeah, just be calm and gentle with yourself, and then find the main reasons of like why you would love yourself first before anyone else will, because you don't need that validation or what other people are thinking for now, right? You don't need that. Like focus on you. Do
Mm-hmm.
you be selfish with it, but don't forget to be selfless when you're going to be around other people too, because
Mm-hmm.
also the act of being of service to others can also bring you back into your body. You forget the attention on yourself, and then you get to help somebody else out.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. I first want to validate that I love that so the way my brain went with this question is different than yours. And I love yours because you had a practical response. Like, okay, you feel like nobody loves you. Well, you love you then. Here, you do some breaths. You're going to ground into it. Like, we're going to do some practical things and kind of get that sort of disconnection grounded into your body and then just show that you're taking action towards yourself. So I love that. But now I'm going to put on my lawyer hat. If you're listening on an audio platform, I'm putting a fake hat on. It's pink, it's feathery and glittery. Um, and I'm going to refute that because, and I'll conjure some concepts I've discussed on previous episodes. So one is our ancestors and family episode. Because I wouldn't say felt as strongly as this woman at all. But I was feeling a little bit like I need more support. If you didn't listen to the episode, basically I was feeling like I didn't have the grandparent in my life that I needed physically to go vent to and eat pie and sit in PJs with, which is what I kind of wanted to do. And then long story short, did a meditation and called in my ancestors through the white light, and specifically my grandmother through the white light that I didn't get a chance to meet as a very old, even kid, and basically connect with her. So we always have our ancestors through the white light, that are there rooting you on, loving you, watching out for you, ready to send you signs and synchronicities as soon as you ask. And then an episode that we need to prioritize, Alexander, because I'm obsessed. Our guides and angels are always with us. And so that's another, and you can tell, right? I'm a person that's like, how do I get support that's not asking anyone in real life for support? Very me coded.
Hmm.
But I have almost transformed my sort of inner peace by becoming more cognizant in a consistent basis with the fact that I have these guides and angels that adore me, that are so freaking proud of me, even on my worst day, that are guiding my path such that I can realize all of my wildest dreams beyond even my conscious awareness. And I have these ancestors doing the same, that struggled for generations and generations before me to set me up to learn every lesson that I wanted to learn beyond my wildest dreams. And they're all
Mm.
available to speak through synchronicities and, songs and feathers and feelings and dreams. And it's like, this is what kind of got me out of that feeling less supported paradigm for sure. And so I recommend, if like you're a person like me that's maybe hyper independent for some reasons, or just really seeking out more support but not quite comfortable to be like, all right, friends and family or colleagues or neighbors, like, come show up for me. If that's really a step too far for you where you currently are, then utilize your resources in spirit, because it's so healing to realize and connect with that energy and your higher self and source consciousness, of course. But like sometimes it's nice to feel like, okay, it's not just me in a higher form or me in this breath. Like it's literally my ancestors that came before me that are rooting you on. And Alexander and I could get into stories for ages with meditations we've had or things we've heard from different channelers, but like, I promise you that energy is there. And I promise you that they are so proud of you. And if you're listening now and you're feeling like, proud of what? Like, what am I doing? I promise you, exactly where you are, your guides, your angels, your ancestors are so proud of you. Your higher self is like, this is exactly it. You're on your divine path. You would not be in the position you're in if that was not part of the divine path aligned with your highest good. So, sending you so much love if for some reason you are feeling like, I clearly am not on the path and no one's proud of me. I'm proud of you. I'm sure Alexander's proud of you. Your higher self, ancestors, guides, and angels are proud of you. So just know that there is always love available to you, for you. And I hope that you can find some way or some support in accessing it, because it really can transform how you feel in your inner world.
Very lovely.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm taking my lawyer hat off now. Whew.
the pink, fluffy, sparkly one.
Uh-huh.
All right. It's beautiful. And same with how you were explaining, our loved ones, our guides, our angels. They really are there all the time.
Mhm.
And we may not even realize it. I think millions, if not probably a few billion people don't even realize it. And
Mhm.
sometimes they're just like waiting, like, maybe filing their nails or like just kind of sitting like up against a tree. And they're just like, is this dude gonna ever ask for help? Like, we're right here. Just
This
give
freaking
us
guy.
something. Because like the more that you believe, the more that they can really help you. And like there was times like where I thought my life was donezo,
Mhm.
and then somehow, some way, something was able to pick me back up, bring me a spark of life back into me, and I'm still here. I'm still here.
And we are so happy you are. Thank you for that context. And yeah, I mean, everyone's been through a hard time and we totally get it, but we're sending love to you. Ask for help. There's free will. So, I mean, your team is always with you, but the more you ask, like write it down or think it, or literally ask it out loud. Like, hey,
Mhm.
ancestors, guides, angels, please stay really close with me today, or send me a sign that's this certain colored bird flying by, or whatever. But I do that when it's the easiest way to get out of my head for me, where I'll just be like, okay, I'm freaking out. Guides, angels, ancestors through the white light, come close to me today. Sometimes that's my directive. Like, just be very close to me today. Alexander, he's putting his eye close to me if you're listening on an audio platform. That's great. Like, guys, just, and I don't even know what the heck to ask you, but I just know that I'm freaking out. So, and literally, it's as simple as that, where it's like, I don't need to be this grounded monk. I'm just like having a bad day, and I'll just be like, yo, please get close to me. And just that ask, I already feel more supported and more loved. Yeah, so those are my skills for you. I love to share like our little toolkit, because it takes a village to figure it out.
Oh, it does.
Okay, guys, if you would like to send a drawing you made of me in my pink sparkly hat, or maybe Alexander in one that's like green, so we're just all heart chakra colored, that would be very cool. If you don't want to do that, then that's cool. Just like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends how cool the episode is. Send us comments. Guys, if you send a comment in like the YouTube video asking other questions, we'll implement that into the next Q&A next month. So that'd be pretty cool too. But whatever it is, send love to yourself. And we're so glad you tuned in. See you next week on Magic in the Matrix. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Blessings.